Hello everyone! For the first design, I will be cutting each die with 3 different shades of aqua. To begin, I am using the lightest shade of aqua to cut the 4 panes die. The die machine I am using here is the Mosaic Big Kick, and it's one of my favorite machines to use with the Mosaic Moments dies. So here the cardstock got stuck in the die, so I'm using sharp tweezers to poke it out. All of the dies have small holes so you can push the paper out. Here I am using the die to cut some fun pattern paper. If you notice, the paper is cut a little smaller than the die, so to save on paper I only cut enough for what I need to make the design. So here I only need 2 squares. And I'm doing the same here with this fun blue paper. Next, I'm using the medium aqua shade for the 3x3 diamond die, which will be layered over the 4 panes die. Again, the cardstock got stuck, so I grabbed my tweezers to pull it all out. For my last piece, I am cutting the darkest shade of aqua with the 3x3 crossing die, which will be the top layer of the design. So now I am going to put all the pieces together to make the first design. First, the 4 panes die cut will be placed in the grid paper, as shown here. Next, I'm going to grab the square pieces of pattern paper, and for a fun look, each color is going to be placed diagonally. Now I'm going to use my 3x3 diamond and glue it down to make the second layer. And last is the crossing die, which will be our last layer. All 3 dies make a really fun design. For my second design, I'm using the same shade of aqua. First, I'm going to cut 1 piece of the cardstock with the 3x3 diamond die. And next, I'm going to use my pattern paper, again, using the green one here, to cut it. And I'm only going to grab the corner pieces this time. I'm using the diamond die for the 3rd time to cut a different piece of pattern paper, but this time I'm only going to keep the center piece. Last, I am cutting the 2nd piece of cardstock with the 4 panes die. Alright, now we get to put all the pieces together, so I'm going to glue down the 3x3 diamond die. Sticking it right on the grid paper, and it fits perfectly. Next, I'm going to take my big diamond piece and place in the center, and then all 4 of my corner pieces placed in each corner. And the last thing is to glue down the 4 panes die, and then I'm going to put it right on top. Now the second design is finished and it only needed 2 dies. My last design will be using the 3 different shades of aqua again, but first we're starting with the crossing die. I'm using the lightest shade of aqua here. I'm going to use it a second time to cut my blue pattern paper. Just roll it through the machine, and just so you know, it's always good to put your die in at an angle because it cuts better. And this time I'm only going to keep 2 triangles, and I'm going to do the same thing again with this green paper. I'm going to roll it through the machine and only keep 2 of the triangles. Now I'm going to use the 3x3 diamond die to cut the medium aqua paper. Now I'm cutting the darkest shade of aqua with the 4 panes die. Alright, I'm going to piece the final design together. First, I'm putting the crossing die down on the grid paper, and now I'm going to fill it in with the triangles I cut with that same die. Looks really nice right there, but we're going to add more. So now I'm going to place the 3x3 diamond die as the second layer. And last, the 4 panes die will be added on top for a really unique look. Now we have a third design. You can do so much with these dies. The final layout looks really fun with all three of these designs. Thanks for watching, and see more ideas on our site mosaicmoments.com.